So when I was a kid, I was like the golden child. I was the kid that followed all the rules. I was really focused on getting good grades, on impressing my teachers, on doing all of the things that were expected of me. And interestingly, I'm the daughter of two entrepreneurs. So both my parents are entrepreneurs. So I come from this place of a lot of hustle and figuring it out and, be independent and you can do it. So I kind of came from this place of, being wired to succeed and being wired to get ahead and being wired to make an impact, because that's the model that I had of what work looked like. And so I took that success in school and I transferred that right into my career. And so I got all sorts of accolades and awards and recognition and different things that really validated the work that I was doing. And so I just kept looking for the next thing and going after the next opportunity and the next stage and all of these things that I thought were going to make me feel successful and happy. So in the midst of my striving and pushing and proving and performing and achieving, I completely burned out. So it started with the dream that I was drowning, which was pretty indicative that my life was about to go in shambles. And I just got to a point where I lost my voice. I ended up being diagnosed with an acute form of mono that knocked me out for several months. And it gave me this opportunity to really pause and to recognize that I was actually not successful. If I was honest, I was not successful really in any area of my life. I had gotten to the point where my health was suffering physically, my relationships were suffering, my husband got the absolute worst of me. Any relationship I had in my life was just not a priority. And so I got to this point where I was feeling really empty. I was very validated on the surface, but deep inside, I was not happy. I was not content. I was not fulfilled, and I was still searching for something. And the burnout experience really gave me the pause to recognize that how I was living my life just wasn't working. So in the midst of recovering from burnout, one of the things that I experienced was the power of connection and the power of friendships and relationships and of being honest about my struggle. So previously it was, here's Rachel's shiny success. Look how great Rachel is. Look at all the cool things Rachel's doing and look how she's getting ahead and really making it. And that model was the one that broke down. And so what I started to do was to recognize, you know what, there's actually power in sharing my struggle. There's actually power in being honest about the things that I am really struggling to figure out, about the aspects of my life that I feel like I'm kind of failing in, and just in being open and honest with people about that and saying, you know what, this is hard for me. It's really hard to balance doing well in a career and having high quality relationships and being invested in my marriage and traveling and pursuing things I enjoy. Like, it's hard. So to just first be honest with people about the challenge that this is. And then aside from that, just to really recognize that what I was missing in the midst of all of this is that connection is more important than my success. So I think about the things I focused on before, and I still care about my physical health. That still matters. It absolutely does. But what I'm recognizing is in the workplace, we're dealing with things like loneliness and disconnection and leadership just not quite feeling like they have a pulse of what's going on with people. And I think a lot of that is because we've lost sight of the importance of human connection. And we've lost sight of the importance of being compassionate and of being intentional leaders who see people. What I've learned is that people want to be seen, heard, and valued, and to feel like they matter. And that as competent or as skilled or as accomplished as a leader as you are, if you're missing that element, if you're missing the human element, you're only going to be able to go this far in terms of your effectiveness. And so my focus now is on how can I work with leaders? How can I teach leaders the things that I've learned the hard way about the power of connection, so that this helps them not only in their job. I want this to help them in their marriages. I want this to help them with their kids. I want this to make them a better friend. Like, I want this to literally permeate every aspect of who they are by focusing on the power of human connection that is rooted in things like belonging. It's rooted in compassion. It's rooted in appreciation and gratitude. That these are the things that when we have these things in our lives, that's what makes us happy and content and fulfilled. These are the things we look back on our life and say, I lived a good life because I lived a connected life. And so that is what I want to bring into people, is to remind them of their humanity, to remind them of the importance of noticing people and of being present and of being an intentional leader who is focused on connection above all else.